This is Brother Jamal back with you with another Friday afternoon video. This is entitled The Movement and the Protest, the Marches, the Rallies, the Demonstration, the Fight Against Injustice, Institutionalized Racism, and Oppression must continue to go on because as we speak, the uh, injustice is still happening. Uh, institutionalized racism is still going on, and social injustice and oppression is still going on. So all three of these things are still happening as we speak. As I said, this is the second broadcast we bringing to you today. We brought one to you maybe about 11:30 or 12. We brought you another one where we were talking about practically some of the same thing, but it's important that we continue to echo these things out and talk about these things, especially in light of so much is going on and so much is happening. Um, the other part of this is too is that we see the one of the things that's happening, and this is extremely important that the young people understand this. Inshallah, I believe they do, but the seriousness of this kind of oppression, the seriousness of this kind of social injustice, and the seriousness of um, the kind of uh, things that we see happening at this particular time. I'll put it like that. Um, we saw where there was a young black male. They found his body. He had been hung in a parking lot in Texas. We saw where two black men 50 miles apart in LA had been found. They were hung. Um, we see countless incidents like this. Our young sister, 19 years of age, a social activist who was murdered in Tallahassee, Florida, involved in the movement of social activists. Now, one of the things that's extremely important to remember and to know, and this is from a history standpoint, during the civil rights movement, during the Black Power movement, during the movement for human rights, you had all kind of people who were murdered, daytime, nighttime, went missing. Most of these people they never found alive. When they found them, they had been brutally murdered, shot, hung, lynched, tortured, you name it. This is one of the things that we see happening in today's time, January the 19th, June 19th, 2020. We see these things happening. So it's really nothing new, maybe shocking to some people, but anytime you have a movement for freedom, a movement against social injustice, a movement against oppression, a movement against exposing all this stuff where you pull the cover off. I mean, snatch the cover off and expose it and show it for what it is. Anytime you have that kind of serious movement, you're going to have casualties. You're going to have things that happen. You're going to have people lose their lives. You're going to have sacrifice. The whole idea, we do these things to make it better for the ones that's coming along. We may not see the changes in our life. It's not about that. It's about us trying to make it better for the ones that are coming along. That's what it's about. And so let us always keep that in mind. When you're involved in the movement, you're involved in the struggle for social justice against oppression, institutionalized racism. It's always for the ones that are coming along to make it better for them, the young ones, the ones who have not been born, and even some of the younger ones, to make it better for them. That's the whole idea of the struggle and the movement, is not so much to see the change ourselves, but to make it better, a better life, inshallah, for them that's coming, like somebody tried to do the same thing with us. So we had a sister, and I just wanted to mention this. I just jotted this down today. She was a she was a founder of the African American Museum. She was found murdered and dumped in the car trunk. This happened in Louisiana some time ago. Excuse me, I don't know if it happened some time ago, but I know it happened. Once again, this African American sister had set up an African American museum in Louisiana, murdered, and she was dumped in a trunk, car trunk. So I'm saying, and we wonder why. Oftentimes the white supremacists, they try to catch these people, and they try to go after the ones that's in some position who, like in this sister's case, who are teaching or who is raising the conscious level. Anytime anybody is involved in the movement, seriously involved, where they're in a position where they can teach, where they can be an example, where they can raise the conscious level among the youth, especially the youth, they zero in and go after those people. That's usually the ones they target. This sister was teaching. She was moving around teaching. She was real active. She was raising the conscious level, all of her examples and stuff. So anytime they see that, they try to stuffle that out, because that is something they don't want to see happen. That is part of the movement to raise the conscious level of those young people, of the youth. Same thing with Assata Shakur. The same thing with Angela Davis. There's anybody that's involved in the movement that they see where they can stifle that person out, either by imprisoning them, either by murdering them, or by saying that they committed suicide in any kind of way. And so we see this happening. The other thing that we have to be real careful about, and Malcolm talked about this, may Allah be pleased with our brother and his works and his contribution, El-Hajj Malik El-Shabazz, Malcolm X. He talked about how the one thing that they tried to do, you see them trying to do it with George Floyd, you see them with each one of these brothers and sisters who have been murdered. They try to discredit them. They try to defame their character, and to actually reduce what they were doing and make it look like they were always involved in something. They was doing this, they were doing that, and then we have to be careful, because sometimes we fall into that category, that trap, or when these people put this kind of stuff out to defame someone's character or discredit that person, we'll fall for it. Sometimes we'll fall for it, and we'll join right in and go to talking about what this individual did, what he was doing. He was doing this, he was doing this, he was involved in this. It doesn't make any difference what that person was involved in. We have to keep focus on how they lost their life, and if they were murdered, we have to focus on that, see, because oftentimes they'll get us caught up into the character assassination of someone versus how the person was murdered, how his life was taken. See, if he was brutalized by these dirty police officers, they'll try to defame his character all the time. Or they'll try to defame, if it's a black woman, a black child, a black teenager, they try to defame their character, and to make it seem like to us, maybe this person deserved to get this. Maybe they deserve to die like this. This is the thinking that we'll get into if we're not careful. When we buy into that, we'll go to accepting the fact, well, you know, maybe they deserve this. Maybe because they were doing this, because the authorities said they was doing this, the authorities said they was doing that. The authorities lie all the time. It's not nothing unusual. They lie all the time. They lie to cover. They do so much lying until they have convinced themselves that they're right. The authorities oftentimes think they are above the law. And I'm mainly talking about the police department, these police departments. They think they're above the law. And no one is above the divine law. The divine law, no one